Hey everyone, and welcome to the club. Today I'll be showing you how to draw Ryuk from Deathnote. Let's start in the center of our page with the eyes. So I'm going to move over to the left side and draw in a circle, starting from the very top, work our way to the bottom, and then back to the top. Now I'm going to leave a gap in the center and do the same thing on the right. So we're going to line up the top of the circle, now in the center of each circle, I'm going to draw a smaller circle for the pupil. Starting from the top again, leave an even space gap all the way around. Now from here I want to draw in the trim around the eyes. So on the left side, we're going to step in, start by drawing a curve going in towards the eye, and then up. Now I'm going to curve this around the eye, so blending this into a curve going around, and then slightly down, and then again I'm going to blend this into a curve going up towards the tip. Blending that up. Let's do the same thing on the right. So we're going to line up the inside, curve into the eye, and go up. Now I'm going to blend this into a curve going around the eye, and then coming down. Now we're going to go up towards the tip of the trim, going upwards. Now from here I just want to curve down and then in towards the eye, leaving a little gap on the inside. So start on the left, we're going to curve down, and then in. Now from here I'm just going to curve around the eye and then come down towards the bottom. I'm just going to pull that into right about there. Let's do the same thing on the right. Now I'm going to create a little point at the bottom here. So from this point I'm going to angle up and out. Do the same thing on the right. Now from here I'm just going to curve up towards the inside of the trim. Curving around and then pulling that up. Now I want to accentuate the frown line on the inside. So we're going to leave a gap in the center. On the left, I'm going to curve up and then out. Move over towards the right, go up and out towards the right. Now let's add in the nose in between the eyes. Starting on the left, I'm going to draw a curve going up in the middle and then back down on the right. Let's add the nostrils just below the bridge of the nose. So on the left side, I'm going to come down and then just curve that in. Do the opposite on the right, stepping over, going down, and then in. Now I'm going to connect the top and bottom with another curve, going out, pulling that in on both sides. Now we're going to fill the nostrils in black. Now we're going to move down and draw in the large mouth. So I'm going to start with a curve from left to right. Start on the left side, we're going to curve up, underneath the nose, and then back down. Now I want to round this out and curve in the opposite direction up towards the side of the eyes. Around and then up. Now we're just going to thicken up the upper lip. So we're going to start on the side of the mouth here, just taper it in, going across underneath the nose, come down, and then taper towards the right side. Now let's add in the lower lip. We're going to start on the left side here, curve down in the middle, and then back up on the right side. We're going to thicken this up. We're going to step out, and just trace that same curve, going around towards the bottom, and then back up on the right. Now let's add in the top row of fangs. From the center, I'm just going to angle down and out towards the left, and then we'll pull that up, almost like drawing a V. We're going to do the same thing on the right. Now we're going to repeat this all the way to the side of the mouth. Starting on the left, drawing that V. Add two more on the right side. Now let's add in the bottom row of fangs. So in the center, we're going to leave a gap, go up, and then down. And we'll repeat this again, going up, down. We'll add one more on either side. So now that we've drawn the face, let's draw in the hairline. So we start in the center, in between the frown line, with a point. From this point, I'm going to curve up and out towards the left. From the bottom, we'll go up and out towards the right. Now I just want to draw a little point here. We're going to come down with an angled line, coming in. Now we're going to work our way towards the top of the hairline. From the left, we'll go up and then out. Now from the top, I just want to curve around the trim and just come down beside the mouth. So let's start the left side here, curving around the trim, and and then pulling that into right about there. We're gonna do the same thing on the right. Let's curve around the trim and then pull that in just above the mouth. Now from the top of the cheek, we're gonna curve down towards the chin. So from here, we're gonna come down and then start to curve that in towards the middle. And we're gonna work our way back up towards the right side. Going around, and I'm gonna pull that straight up. Now let's go to the side and draw on the ears. So we're gonna step up from the cheek, curve up and out, and then we'll round that out and pull that in. From the top of the cheek, I just wanna draw a curve going up and then out. Let's take that and flip it over on the right side. We're gonna line up the top of the ear, curve up and around. Now at the bottom here, I just wanna leave a little gap for the earring. We'll stop right about here. Now from here, I'm gonna draw in a stretched out oval. Starting from this point, I'm gonna curve around, come down, and then back up. And then from the inside, I'm just gonna continue the ear going back in behind the head. Now we're gonna take that and just duplicate it right below. So starting at the bottom of this oval, come down, and then back up. Now in between these two ovals, I'm gonna draw a circle, just going in behind, going around on the left side, and then the right. Now I'm gonna draw a smaller circle tucked in behind. At the top of the cheek, I'm gonna draw that curve for the inner ear detail. Now we're gonna add a heart at the bottom of this chain. Starting on the left side, we're gonna curve up and pull that in towards the center. Go to the right side and do the same thing. Now let's move back up and draw on the hair. So we're gonna start at the top of the ear, we're gonna curve around and up. Going around, and we're just gonna pull that in. Do the same thing on the right. Going around, and then we'll pull that in. I'm gonna draw a short angled line coming in. Now we're gonna draw another point. From here, we're gonna curve up and then in. Now from here, we're gonna come down and curve it back in. Start with a straight line coming down and then pull it inwards. And then from here, we're gonna come up towards the center point. Start on the left, we're gonna curve up, in towards the middle. Now we're gonna pull that down with a curve towards the right side. All right, so now that we've got the head, let's work our way down the body. We're gonna start with the collar first. Now there's a series of staples that go across the neck. So in the center here, I'm gonna draw two short lines coming down side by side. We're gonna cap off the top with a curve, and then the bottom with a curve in the opposite direction. Now let's move to the side and draw two more angled outwards. Stepping over, draw two angled lines, close off the top with a curve, and then the bottom. We're gonna do the same thing on the right, flipped over. Now we're gonna move out and draw one more, just slightly angled out a little bit further. So right here, cap off the top and bottom, and over on the right side. Now we're gonna connect these staples with a V shape. Starting on the inside edge of this staple, we're gonna come down and pull it back up. We'll do the same thing on the right, coming down, then up. Now let's connect the outside. And then from the outside, we're gonna go straight out and then angle up in behind the head. Let's add the furry shoulders. So from this point, curve out and then down. We're gonna do the same thing on the right. Now we're gonna taper that back in, coming up, and then in. Let's draw another point. From here, we're gonna curve out and then down. And then again, we're gonna pull that back up with a tapered line. And then one final time, we'll curve outwards, going up and then down. And now we're gonna tuck this in behind the head. Starting on the left, we'll go up, then in. Now let's move back to the center and draw on the side of the body. So we're gonna start on the left side, underneath this fur, we're gonna curve out, and then down towards the hip. We'll do the same thing on the right, going out, and then down. Let's connect these 2 points with a curve, the lower part of the belt. Now I'm gonna take that same curve and duplicate it up above. So right up here, we're gonna curve down, across. Now let's draw an oval in the center of the belt for the belt buckle. Go around towards the bottom of the belt, and then back up towards the top. We're going to add 2 circles on either side, starting on the left, and then the right. We're going to fill those in black. Now just below the circle, we're going to step down to the side of the belt buckle, curve down and in. And we'll draw 2 straight lines coming down. Now I just want to draw 2 little hash lines for the teeth of the skull. Now I just want to add a wrinkle in the shirt along the top. So from left to right, we'll just curve down and then back up. Now let's add the fur along the bottom. From the hips, starting on the left, we're going to curve out and then down. And do the same thing on the right side. Now again, I'm going to taper this back up and in. Now we're going to draw another point. From here we're going to curve down. And let's taper that back up. Now we're going to add one more. On the left side we're going to curve down and just pull that in on both sides. Now we're going to pull that up in towards the middle. Curving up and then in. Now in between these 2 points I'm going to draw a curve from left to right, going up and then down for the lower torso. On the left side I'm going to step in, curve out, and then down towards the left heel. We'll do the same thing on the right side. Now let's round out the bottom of the foot, curving down and back up on both sides. Now let's round out the top of the foot. On the left side I'm going to curve up. I'm going to pull this down, aiming towards the heel, but we're going to stop right about there. Do the same thing on the right, going up and aiming towards the heel. Now from the top of the foot, I want to curve out the side of the leg, aiming towards the hip. Now we're going to go underneath this fur. Do the same thing on the right, curving out and then going up. Now let's move to the outside and draw on the arms. So we're going to start just below the fur on the side of the body. We're going to curve out and then down. We'll do the same thing on the right. So let's line this up, curve out, and then down to the same height. For this point, I'm going to start with the thumb. We come in and go back out. From here, I want to point out the thumb and come back in towards the palm, so tapering it back up. Let's do the same thing on the right, curving around to a point in the thumb, and taper that back up. Now let's move to the left side and draw on the first finger. So from here, curve around the thumb and down. I'm going to taper this back up towards the top of the first finger. Let's add 2 more fingers along the side. From here, we're going to curve around, then down, taper that back up. Now one more time, we'll curve down and in. Now we're going to pull this around towards the wrist. Coming around and just pulling that into right there. Let's do the same thing on the right side. From this point, we're going to curve around the thumb and then in. We'll taper that back up for the first finger. Come around for the second finger. And then the third finger coming down towards the point. Now we're going to pull this up towards the wrist. Coming around and pulling that in. Now let's connect the outside and the inside of the wrist with a curve. Coming down and back up on both sides. Now he wears this large bracelet on the left side. So from this point on the wrist, we're going to come up and then just pull that back in. Now I just want to taper this back in towards the inside of the arm. So coming down and then in. From the top of the bracelet, I'm just going to curve the outside of the arm in behind the fur. Coming up. Now from this side, I'm just going to take this point on the wrist and curve up in behind the fur. Just follow the same line and curve of the inside part of the arm. Let's add in the bracelet. We'll take this curve, stepping up, just duplicate it above. Just want to add a little bit of detail to the bracelet. So from the top, I'm going to curve in and back out. Let's add a few rings to the fingers. So from here, curve down and up. We'll duplicate that right below it. Do the same thing on the second finger. And then we'll add a ring on this finger here. And that's pretty much it. There we have it. There's Ryuk from Deathnote. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Make sure you subscribe and send me your requests in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.